The Battle of Manzikert, a turning point in medieval history. The Battle of Manzikert, fought on August 26, 1071, is considered one of the most pivotal conflicts in medieval history. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire's dominance in Asia Minor, leading to the loss of vital territories and setting the stage for the rise of the Seljuk Turks in the region. The battle was fought between the Byzantine Empire, led by Emperor Romanos IV Diogenes, and the Seljuk Turks under Sultan Alp Arslan. The battle was fought between the Byzantine Empire, led by Emperor Romanos IV Diogenes, and the Seljuk Turks under Sultan Alp Arslan. This catastrophic defeat for the Byzantines had far-reaching consequences, reshaping the political and military landscape of the Eastern Mediterranean for centuries to come. The Byzantine Empire, despite its decline in the centuries following the height of its power, remained a dominant force in the Eastern Mediterranean. However, by the 11th century, it was facing numerous internal and external challenges. The rise of the Seljuk Turks, a nomadic Central Asian people who had migrated into the region, posed one of the most significant threats to the empire. By the mid-11th century, the Seljuks had established a strong presence in the Middle East and were rapidly expanding westward into Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, a vital region for the Byzantine Empire. The Seljuks were able to capitalize on the decline of the Fatimid Caliphate in Egypt and the disintegration of other regional powers in the Near East. This left a power vacuum that they could exploit. At the same time, the Byzantine Empire was dealing with its own set of crises, including political instability, military defeats, and a lack of coherent leadership.
Byzantine Emperor Romanos IV Diogenes came to power in 1068 after a period of political strife, hoping to restore the empire's fortunes. Romanos was a military leader who aimed to halt the encroaching Seljuk threat by launching a series of campaigns into Anatolia. The Seljuk Turks, led by Sultan Alp Arslan, had already captured large portions of Byzantine-held territory in the region, and their victory at the Battle of Manzikert would be a critical blow to the Byzantine Empire's ability to control Anatolia. The Byzantine Empire had suffered from a series of defeats at the hands of the Seljuks in the years leading up to Manzikert. The Seljuk Turks had captured several important cities and territories in Anatolia, including the important city of Nicaea in 1071, and they posed a direct threat to the imperial heartlands of the Byzantine Empire. In response to these threats, Romanos IV Diogenes assembled a large army with the goal of defeating the Seljuks once and for all. The Byzantine army was composed of both regular soldiers and mercenaries, including a sizable contingent of Norman, Frankish, and Armenian troops. Romanos's force was formidable, numbering approximately 35,000 men, which was significantly larger than the army fielded by the Seljuk Sultan Alp Arslan. Despite the Byzantine army's size and experience, Romanos's campaign suffered from several tactical and logistical issues. One of the most significant problems was a lack of unity among the Byzantine forces. Romanos had a difficult time managing the various factions within his army, particularly the mercenary contingents, which were often unreliable and not fully committed to the Byzantine cause. Meanwhile, Alp Arslan, a skilled and experienced military leader, had carefully prepared his forces for battle. The Seljuk army was smaller, numbering around 25,000 men, but it was highly mobile and well-coordinated. The Seljuk forces included a mix of Turkish light cavalry, archers, and heavily armed soldiers, making them highly effective in the kind of open field battle that was likely to occur at Manzikert. The Battle of Manzikert took place near the town of Manzikert, located in eastern Anatolia. Both armies met on the open plains, and the initial phases of the battle saw the Byzantine forces in a strong position. Romanos IV Diogenes, believing he had the advantage, decided to engage the Seljuk army directly in a pitched battle. Romanos's initial tactic was to advance with the bulk of his infantry and heavy cavalry, hoping to force the Seljuk army into a decisive engagement. However, Alp Arslan was able to use the terrain and the mobility of his forces to his advantage. The Seljuks feigned retreat, luring parts of the Byzantine army deeper into the battle and away from the main body of troops. As the Byzantine forces became stretched out and disorganized, the Seljuks launched a devastating counterattack. One of the most critical factors in the battle was the defection of a large portion of the Byzantine army. Some of the mercenaries, particularly the Armenian contingents, deserted Romanos's forces and joined the Seljuk ranks. This effectively reduced the Byzantine army's strength, leaving them vulnerable to Alp Arslan's cavalry. The Seljuks' skilled use of archery, mounted archers, and quick maneuvering wore down the Byzantine forces, and the battle turned into a rout. Romanos fought. Diogenes, realizing the extent of the defeat, attempted to flee the battlefield. However, he was captured by the Seljuk forces. Alp Arslan treated the Byzantine emperor with unexpected courtesy, offering him a prisoner's ransom and even hosting him at his court. This was in part due to the diplomatic norms of the time, but it also reflected Alp Arslan's broader political goals of weakening the Byzantine Empire without completely destroying it. The Battle of Manzikert had immediate and profound consequences for both the Byzantine Empire and the Seljuk Turks. For the Byzantines, the defeat was catastrophic. The loss of Romanos the Diogenes, along with a significant portion of the Byzantine army, weakened the empire's ability to defend its territories in Anatolia. The defeat at Manzikert also sparked a period of internal instability within the Byzantine Empire as factions within the nobility vied for control. Romanos was eventually deposed by his political rivals, and the empire entered a period of civil war. In the aftermath of the battle, the Seljuk Turks capitalized on their victory. Alp Arslan was able to expand his influence over the region, establishing control over large parts of Anatolia. The defeat also paved the way for the Seljuks to eventually establish the Sultanate of Rum, which would control much of Anatolia for the next few centuries. This shift in power would significantly alter the geopolitical landscape of the Eastern Mediterranean. The Battle of Manzikert also marked the beginning of the slow but steady decline of Byzantine power in the region. The loss of Anatolia, which had been a vital part of the empire's economy and military infrastructure, severely weakened the Byzantine Empire. As the Seljuks gained more territory, the Byzantines were forced to retreat further into the Balkans, and their influence over the region diminished. The loss of Anatolia also had long-term consequences for the spread of Christianity in the region. With the Seljuks in control of much of Anatolia, the Christian communities that had once flourished in the region were subjected to Islamic rule. Over time, this would lead to the gradual decline of Christianity in the region as Islamic culture and influence took hold. For the Christian world, the Battle of Manzikert also had significant implications. The defeat of the Byzantines weakened the empire's ability to mount a defense against the rising Islamic powers in the region, including the Seljuks and the later Ottoman Turks. The loss of Anatolia also meant the loss of important strategic locations that would later play a critical role in the Crusades. The Battle of Manzikert holds a prominent place in the history of the Byzantine Empire, the Seljuk Turks, and the broader medieval world. It was a turning point that marked the beginning of the end for the Byzantine Empire in Asia Minor and the rise of the Seljuk Turks as a dominant force in the region. For the Byzantines, the defeat at Manzikert was a humbling moment that exposed the empire's internal weaknesses and its inability to effectively respond to external threats. The loss of Anatolia would have lasting consequences, as it would lead to a diminished Byzantine presence in the region and a gradual shift of power to the Seljuks and later the Ottoman Turks. For the Seljuks, the battle was a decisive victory that allowed them to expand their territory and influence in Anatolia. Alp Arslan's success at Manzikert enabled the Seljuks to establish a powerful and enduring presence in the region, which would eventually contribute to the rise of the Ottoman Empire. The Battle of Manzikert also had broader implications for the Christian world. With the loss of Byzantine control over Anatolia, the Christian communities in the region were placed under Islamic rule, and the Byzantine Empire's role as a bulwark against the spread of Islam was diminished. This set the stage for the eventual decline of the Byzantine Empire and the rise of new powers in the Eastern Mediterranean. Ultimately, the Battle of Manzikert was a critical moment in the history of the Middle Ages. It reshaped the political and military dynamics of the region, and its effects were felt for centuries to come. The battle's legacy continues to resonate in the modern world, serving as a reminder of the fragility of empires and the dramatic shifts that can occur in the course of history. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.